Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Siddheshwar Chopra from India, and today I'll be handling the topic which has been, it's a big topic for many of us here. It's the Spooky 2 Central, and I'll be taking you along with me to this journey of healing. Okay, so it would be my intention and effort to make it as simple as possible for you all to understand and get going, right? So let me quickly start the presentation. So here are my academic credentials. I am a PhD in experimental physics from one of the premier institutes in India. Prior to that, I have done post-graduation and undergraduation from Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, Andhra Pradesh, India. And after my PhD, I have 10 years plus of teaching experience at a university level, during which I also published 25 international research papers in computational nanoscience. So that is all about my academic credentials. But I am deeply involved with the energy healing work and the Rife training work. So I'm the first India's Spooky 2 verified Rife trainer, and I'm also NLS practitioner and trainer, and Theta healing practitioner, Reiki grandmaster, Access consciousness facilitator, Now healing facilitator, Vastu consultant, and I also have master diploma in alternative medicine. And apart from these things, I also work with bubble tech, pyramids, magnets, etc. Okay, so I've been into healing since quite a long time now, and I'm really passionate about these things. So let's get to the content of the presentation. Okay, so this entire webinar is all about the Spooky 2 Central. So we'll be starting with the working theory and benefits of Spooky 2 Central, followed by the most important concepts in Spooky 2 Central, that what makes the Spooky 2 Central so powerful. It's 4 modes. Okay, so that is what we'll be discussing. Then we'll discuss what is the difference between the Spooky 2 Phanatron tube and Spooky straight tube. Then we'll discuss the Spooky 2 Central connections, right? So I mean the hardware connections. And then we'll discuss about the software operation and the preset collections available for handling the plasma healing work, right? Or the plasma killing work, whatever. Followed by the question and answer session. Okay. So let me start the journey with Spooky 2 Central. And I'm pretty sure many of you already would be having plasma, or you are planning to buy one. Let me tell you, it is a very strong, very powerful modality. And if you are planning to buy one, my good wishes to you all. And hardware wise, it is not very intensive, but you have to be aware how to use the software well. Okay, and there are few precautions you have to take care, and I think you should be good to go, right? So let me start with what is Spooky 2 Central. Like Dr. Rife's original machines, Spooky Central doesn't require any wasteful and potentially harmful fixed carrier to generate sidebands. See, the idea is what Dr. Rife did, he worked on the cancer cells. He used the plasma modality to kill the cancer cells. So he didn't use a fixed carrier, right? So same way, the Spooky Central also has been designed powerfully by John White, and it is delivering lot of power without using any carrier, right? So it can directly transmit the frequencies up to 3.5 megahertz, making it a real Rife machine. So the main thing is, if any frequencies you are targeting, lie under 3.5 megahertz, they can be straight away delivered to the body without, converting it into the subharmonics, that is dividing it less than 3.5 megahertz. So the machine, or I should say the plasma, is capable of delivering up to 3.5 megahertz frequencies, and above it, it will divide to the subharmonics. Okay. Furthermore, if you do use a carrier, you can set it up so it will hit all frequencies, delivering full power safely wherever needed the most. Now, why there is so much hype around Spooky 2 Central? Spooky 2 Central offers the most powerful frequency therapy, as it offers 4 modes which can all be used at the same time. So remember I said 4 modes. So these 4 modes, when you use at the same time, these make it a very lethal weapon against pathogens, right? So what are these 4 modes? I'll just quickly mention the names here. These are the plasma tube, the plasma mode, okay, which consists of 2 tubes, phenotron and straight tube. Then you have the PEMF mode, which is the pulsed electromagnetic field, right? And then you have the ultrasonic mode. Then you have the contact mode. I have written special. We'll discuss what do you mean by special when we get into the contact mode, right? So plasma offers you all the 4 modes. You can use at the same time, or you can just use one of these, right? So this is very easy. Okay. So these are the Spooky 2 Central kits and the final setup, right? So on the left hand side, you see that is the Spooky 2 Central single generator kit. So I have delivered other webinars where I'm talking about the selection, the choice of, the kits, which kit you should buy or which central kit you should buy. So you can also have a look at the webinar. But for the new user, I can just say, if you buy a central single generator kit, which is the left-hand side kit, so you have an option of buying one of the tubes, phenotron or the straight tube, that we'll discuss shortly why you have to go for a particular tube, the plasma tube, or why not the other one, that comes later. But for now, I can just say, if you have just one generator with you, what is the generator? That is the blue generator, which is the XM generator, right? So if you have only the one generator, then you would be able to handle only one task at a single point of time. So I am talking about only the XM generator, which has only one generator in it. Unlike the generator X Pro, which gives you 2 generators in one generator. So per generator, you have 2 ports. You can see on the screen here on the right hand side. So there are 2 ports per generator. So when I say one generator, which is the XM generator, is meant for one job, I mean either you can go for the healing programs or you can go for the killing programs, right? So the left-hand side kit is meant for people who are willing to learn what the plasma modality is and use it for not very chronic issues. Okay, so you can use the single generator kit in that case. But if you are handling any higher stages of cancer, any such issues, right, which have been haunting you from a long time, then you need to tackle them with more power. You need to tackle different zones. So whenever in general we are talking about handling the cancer issue, then what you should be doing is you might be needing more generators in order to handle the pain management, right? In order to kill some viruses, in order to support your organs. So I'm talking about one generator dedicated to each cause, right? And then you might be running sweep also, spectrum sweeps. So these are few things you would be using these generators for. And finally, that would be the cancer programs, specifically the cancer programs, or killing the biofeedback results, whatever. So you have many tasks to be handled when you talk about cancer. So you will be needing more generators in that case. So I would suggest go for the Central Generator X Pro kit. Okay. And now in the center of the screen, it's visible to you. This is the final setup. In the subsequent slides also I've shown. So don't worry if it is not very visible to you. So you see, this is the entire setup of your Spooky 2 Central. We'll touch up each and everything. So don't worry if you don't understand right now. Okay, I'm there for you. Okay, so talking about the modes of operation of Spooky 2 Central. So Spooky 2 Central, first of all, you have to understand one thing, that I'll just take the liberty of going back for a minute. On the left hand side, you see here, this is the Spooky 2 Central unit. And this is the generator, right? So I get this question quite often from people. Dr. Chopra, if I have the generator, why do I need the Spooky 2 Central unit, or vice versa? Okay. So the simple thing you have to understand is Spooky 2 Central is a highly powerful amplifier unit. I have written here specifically. It is an amplifier unit which is offering the required power to handle all the 4 modes. This is the heart of the Spooky 2 plasma technology. Okay. So Spooky 2 Central is just an amplifier of the signal. What is the signal here? Signal is the XM generator or the Generator X Pro. I hope that's clear for you now. Okay. So Spooky 2 Central is an amplifier. Once the generator gives in the signal to the Spooky 2 Central unit, Spooky 2 Central amplifies the signal, makes it more powerful, and adds, some voltage spikes. We'll discuss that shortly, and gives out to the different frequency transmission modes or the signal transmission modes, right? What are those modes? Plasma, PEMF, ultrasonic, and the contact mode. Is that clear? So these are the 4 modes the Spooky 2 Central offers you. Now, the technical specifications of the Spooky 2 Central are: mains voltage is 110 or 230 volts. That's fine. The plasma tube power, I'm talking about the bulb, the Phanatron bulb, and the straight tube. So the maximum power is 40 watts. What is 40 watts? It's like, the old tube lights, the CFL tube lights, right? So it is that much power, 40 watts plasma tube power. Now, as I told you, the frequency range lies from 100 kilohertz to 3.5 megahertz. That is the range in which the plasma operates, right? Anything higher than 3.5 megahertz, it's gonna reduce it to subharmonics, and then it delivers to your body. Okay. This is the front side of the Spooky 2 Central. On the left hand side, you have the coil input followed by an off-on switch. Then you have the ultrasonic band. This is not the ultrasonic, this is contact mode. And then here, the black one is your ultrasonic band port. And then you have slow fast mode for ultrasonic, and then you have these two connectors for your input and modulation BNC cable. Okay, this is the front panel. Okay, so getting on to the 4 modes now. So we are starting the 4 modes. The first and the most important mode is the plasma mode, of course. Okay, there are 2 ways you can deliver the plasma power onto your body, right? There are 2 ways. The first one is the Phanatron tube. Phanatron tube is the circular one or the spherical tube, right? You see here the 2 metallic electrodes. So these generate the signal, and then inside you have the helium gas. You have the helium gas here, and that gives it the specific color you see in the plasma ball, right? And you have 2 terminals connected to the Phanatron tube. Now, where do you use the Phanatron tube? Or I should say, why do you need to choose the Phanatron tube? Why not the straight tube, right? So if you remember, if you have a lens, right? So if any beam comes out, then it gets focused onto a single point close to the glass or close to the lens. So we can easily see that the Phanatron tube is designed to focus onto a localized disease point, right? So whenever you are sure about the location of the issue in the body, right? Say I know there is an issue with kidney. So I know I have to go closer to the kidney. How close? It's like the plasma field stretches at a distance of 6 inches around the globe, around the Phanatron tube. So in the area of 6 inches, you can get the benefit of Phanatron tube. Okay, so if you are sure about the location of the disease, then go ahead with Phanatron tube. That is what is important. However, the straight tube is for scattered issues in the body. Like if you are not sure about the location of the disease, then go ahead and buy the straight tube. It is very simple to understand where you can use the straight tube, because this is a general doubt people have, right? So just whenever you have any confusion, go for, tube light, right? Tube light has a longer area delivery, Tube light gives you more photons in all directions. So it handles a larger area, right? Of course, the power gets divided, but still you are able to handle a larger area, larger body area with straight tube. So I would go for straight tube, and the gas filled inside is the argon gas, right? You call this field to be far field, and the Phanatron tube is called the near field. Okay, so there is again note here, heavy duty white cables not to be looped. So what are these white cables? These are the cables connected to the Phanatron tube or the straight tube. So these are the white heavy duty cables. These are very thick. So just make sure they are not looped or crossed over each other. I'll come back to this precaution again later. Okay. Now, plasma tubes are safe for people with pacemakers and other electronic implants. So that is one doubt cleared. Okay. Now going to the next most important mode of plasma. This is called the contact mode, or I should say the special contact mode. That is why it is SC, So this is a very powerful mode. It is designed to be used together with plasma for maximum effectiveness. Please remember, designed to be used with plasma for maximum effectiveness. Okay. However, it can also be used without plasma tube, and in this case, it would deliver a fixed frequency of 100 Hertz together with the pulsed electromagnetic field signal. Okay, so if you connect the PEMF also, then it's going to generate a 100 Hertz fixed signal. What makes it so unique? Now, this is a very important point you should not skip. It adds a 320 volt energy spike at the end of every magnetic pulse. 320 volts, you get that? And this spike lasts for 0.5 microseconds. It's like a lightning thunder, lightning bolt. You must have seen the Flash series. So the way he was hit, it generates such a powerful voltage spike for such a short duration. So before you realize it, it finishes the job. That quick it is, causing an instantaneous split-second reversal of every cell wall's electrical charge. So this is a very powerful point. Okay. Now, in the contact mode, you can use the hand cylinders or you can use the TENS pads, right? So there are two categories of TENS pads. One are the short ones, the smaller size, and one is the larger size. I don't remember the dimensions. You can see my another webinar on that. But larger TENS pads you use for larger organs. Okay, say you want to use for abdomen area, you can go for larger pads, but that doesn't mean shorter ones don't work, right? So some people like to use larger pads. Okay. Now with human cells, this high voltage spike opens up cell doors, allowing plasma's lethal energy to reach inside and clean up the pathogens in milliseconds, right? So it is delivering the bolt at such a short duration, and then pathogens do not have time to respond. When used without plasma, the combination of the fixed frequency and the square wave creates an explosion of multiple higher harmonics. It is similar to a powerful 320 volt zapper. I love this zapping word, right? So please understand, plasma works on the square wave. What is a square wave? It is a summation of odd harmonics of frequency. Okay, so odd harmonics of any frequency, you combine all these sine waves and then you get a square wave. So basically square wave delivers odd harmonics, higher harmonics of the same frequency. That is why square wave is very powerful. I have written in yellow here, contact mode does not require any frequency input from a generator. This is the question I've been asked several times. You do not need frequency generator to give any input to contact mode. It will deliver the fixed frequency. It is helping the plasma signal to penetrate deeper and make the therapy more powerful. Okay. Now, another important note, it is not safe for use with pacemakers or electronic implants. I'm talking about the contact mode only, right? So where do you connect the contact mode? You see here on the screen, the third port from the left-hand side. this is your contact mode. So this is where you are going to add your BNC cable, right? The TENS cable. Now going to the next mode. This is called the ultrasonic mode. And what is an ultrasonic wave? It is defined as sound that's above the human audible range. So anything above 20,000 hertz or 20 kilohertz, you call it ultrasonic wave, right? Just like plasma mode, this mode is also directly applied without any carrier. It doesn't need any carrier. What makes it so special? Sound conducts far better in water and solid than it does in air. Since our bodies contain water solid ratio as 7:3, this means that ultrasonic can literally flood our entire body with frequencies. Okay, it's very fast to travel. It's very fast to travel in solid and water. That is the reason, you will get so much of therapy in shorter time. This is a very powerful modality. To use it, just place the metal diaphragm touching against the bare skin. So let me show you the ultrasonic band here. On the right hand side, this image you can see this light color transducer. This is the metal transducer, and here this is the area you should be touching onto the skin, right? And then you have the cable for the ultrasonic band. You have to connect the cable to the back side and connect it to the Spooky 2 Central. It is very simple. Okay, just make sure it is touching the skin, otherwise you will be reducing the power of the frequency transmission. Now, what is the maximum power? It is just 2 watts. 2 watts. That is the beauty of ultrasonic. And the optimum frequency range to be used is less than equal to 2 megahertz. The next mode or the final mode is the PEMF mode. Okay, it is highly effective mode, as we all are aware about the PEMF, that is the pulse electromagnetic field, which is highly powerful for any bone healing issues, right? Any skin issues, or it penetrates deeper. That is the main idea about the PEMF mode. It has a good penetration, and along with the Spooky Central, it is more powerful. Trust me. Now, PEMF is a highly effective mode, especially when the location of the problem is known. Okay, so this again, like the Phanatron tube, this is also offering you a localized therapy. So if you know the problem issue, a problem area, then use the PEMF in that area. For this, as you are aware, the PEMF coil comes with the BN letter, right? That is the bio-north polarity. So you have to place the coil such that the BN side of the coil is facing the skin, right? So you touch, or you in the vicinity of the area, you can keep the PEMF coil and then run plasma with the appropriate frequencies. Okay, so PEMF generates a spherical field extending about 6 inches, good enough for deeper penetration. In this case, again, the PEMF offers you 100 Hz signal, and the magnetic field of the coil is 200 Gauss. It was way lesser when you use normally with the Generator X or XM generator. But as I said, the Spooky Central is the amplifier unit. So you have lot more power here, which is clearly evident from the magnetic field value of the PMF coil. So that is 200 Gauss. So where is the PMF coil port? It is starting, that is the first port from the left hand side on the front panel of the center unit. So you have, it's a, a 3.5 mm jack, and then you have the converter here with the BNC converter, and then you quickly connect your PEMF coil to the PMF port. Okay, the connection is very simple. Now, PEMF uses a fixed frequency, as I said earlier, of 100 Hertz, like the SC contact, the special contact mode, and also features, this is an important point, 29-volt electrical square wave spike. What is the duration of the spike? It is 69 microseconds approximately. Okay, so that short duration, it delivers a lethal punch to the pathogens at the end of each magnetic pulse. It is powerful enough to tear apart the pathogens. Now, amplitude of 30 volts is fixed for PEMF. PEMF can be used alone or in combination. So this is important. There is a note here. It is not safe for use with pacemakers or other electronic implants, right? So I do not suggest using it for any such cases. This is all about the 4 modes of plasma. Now we go to the connections and operation. So I will tell you how to do the connections, but don't worry if you don't understand these steps now. There is a video I'll be playing at the end of the webinar. So it will revise all the points, and that is very important, right? So if you see, the Spooky Central mainly has 2 connections. One is the input connection and one is the output connection. Okay, so in fact, I should say both are the input connections, because modulation also is used to deliver the frequency. So output connections are the ones on the left hand side. Those are for your PEMF coil, ultrasonic, your contact mode, and your plasma mode. So those are your output connections as such. So the main input connections are the input and modulation connections. So the out one of the generator, be it XM generator or generator X Pro. Okay, so if you are using generator X Pro, I am talking about using generator 1, G1. So out 1 and out 2 ports of that generator. So connect out 1 to the input port of the Spooky Central front panel, and then connect out 2 to the modulation port of the Spooky 2 Central. These ports are on the right hand side of the central unit, right? So they are already labeled by the Spooky team so well. The red color is for the input cable and the blue color tag is for the modulation input. Now, once you do these connections, please make sure whenever you tighten up the BNC cable, you have to turn it clockwise. You have to turn it clockwise to lock the cable. Some people miss that, and as a result, there is some improper connection every time. So if you don't lock it, then we can't be sure, if suddenly the wire gets pulled, then the connection would be lost. So please make sure you lock the cables. And how do you check? Pull it out. Always pull it out and check if the connection is proper or not. After you have made these input connections, now it is turn to connect your other 4 modes, all the 4 modes in fact. Then connect ultrasonic transmitter or ultrasonic band to the short adapter plug. So there is a small adapter plug they have given, that one you have to connect the ultrasonic WAN to, and the other side of the adapter plug will go to the ultrasonic port of the Spooky2 Central. Okay. Then you have to connect the TENS pads to the short adapter cable. Again, you have an adapter here. So again, you connect the TENS pads and then connect it to the contact input. So this is about your two modes. Similarly, you can also do the connection for the PEMF. Again, you have the adapter cable, connect the BNC cable of the PEMF coil and lock it. Now, three modes you have connected. The most important one is the plasma tube. So remember, only one plasma tube you can use at a single point of time, either the Phanatron tube or the straight tube. So you have two connections for both these tubes. Please write your questions in the Q&A section. I will answer at the end. Okay. So you connect these two white cables of Phanatron tube or straight tube to the rear panel of the Spooky Center. We'll see in the video also. Okay. So you have two sockets in which the white cable will go. There is no polarity issue. So don't worry about the polarity, right? So you need to connect the two connectors to the rear side of the Spooky Central. Once you're done with connecting all the devices, now you connect the mains electrical cable to the socket on the rear side of the machine of Spooky Central. Now you are connecting the power connection. Okay. Once the power connection is done, please make sure you connect your generator such that you have the metallic ring. Okay. Those cables are called the USB filter cables. So you have to make the connection such that the filter cable is closer to the generator. Okay. So the filter cables have to be closer to the generator. Do not uncoil these filter cables or remove the metal rings, the circular ring you have. Don't play with those. Okay. And do not use, I have found some people tend to use, they forget that there are filter cables to be used with the plasma modality, and they mistakenly use their generator X cables, the normal straight cables, to connect it to the plasma unit. That is a big no. Don't do that. Okay, we'll discuss later why these filter cables have been provided. So the filter cables are the one with the curly, the coils around the metallic ring. So just make sure you use those cables. Now, once all the connections are done, now you can switch on the Spooky Central, and at this point the power light will illuminate orange. That is on the back side of the Spooky Central. Okay. So these are few precautions I have given here. Ensure that the white cables, plasma tube, and the central unit are as far as possible from the generator and its power supply. Please spend some time on this slide. Understand this. Try to use as much distance as possible, as much you can manage. Keep everything away from each other. Laptop, generator. See, you have three things, right? Or not three, four in fact. You have the power adapter also. The USB hub, I should call it. Okay. USB hub is this one, and this is your power extension board. Sorry. Okay. So you have these: laptop, generator, central unit, and the extension board, power extension board. All these things, try to keep them as far as possible. That simple. Else, there are chances of generator getting locked up. So in the cases of generator getting locked up, you will have to shut down everything properly in proper sequence and turn on everything. Okay, turn on the entire system, and then the problem would be resolved. The XM or Generator X Pro generator's power adapter cable may pick up the signals from Spooky Central. Hence, ensure to use a different power socket for it. Right? So, this is a very important point which people miss. If you are using Spooky Central and Generator X or any generator, make sure you are using a different power extension board for Central and for Generator X or XM generator. Okay, that is just to avoid any reverse oscillations going back to the Generator X through the same port. That should not happen. Otherwise, Generator X or any generator will get locked up. So make sure you are using two extension boards. So you see on the screen here, I have used a central, for central unit, I have used one power extension board, and for Generator X, there is a different power extension board, right? And this laptop is again far from the Generator X, okay? And finally, the third point I forgot to mention, you see, these generators are connected to the central unit using the filter cables. Again, I am mentioning here, the filter cable has to be connected such that the metallic ring is closer to the generator ports. Okay, you see here on the screen. So the filter cables are close to the generator always. This one, which is the one connected to the laptop, and the other ones which are connected to the central unit, right? Okay. Now, these are the important points, which are the setup points you have to ensure to follow. Make sure to connect the Spooky 2 generator, PEMF coil, ultrasonic transmitter, contact mode, which are the TENS pads, before connecting the central unit to the electrical power and turning it on, right? So make sure your all the accessories, all the modes have been connected. Then you make the electrical connection and then turn on, right? Never ever disconnect any mode or device while Spooky 2 Central is powered on. Don't do it. The simple reason is the high voltage, okay, and your generator can be, suddenly not recognized. Don't do anything like that, right? So whenever central is on, do not disconnect anything. Then what you have to do, firstly stop all the programs. This is the sequence I'm giving you. Firstly, stop all the programs running in the software. Say you are done with your therapy session. Now stop all the programs running in the software first. That is the first step. And then turn off the central unit. After the unit is turned off, now you may unplug all the devices or connections. Okay. Spooky 2 Central's power switch is located on the back side of the panel. When the machine is powered on, this switch, the power switch, will be lit orange color and you will hear the fan running. I have added this point because people don't understand that central unit is on now. Okay, central unit is on. The only indication is you see the power LED and you hear the fan running. right? It has to pump so much power that it gets heated up. It needs a fan, right? Okay, so we are almost finishing up. So now I'm showing you this demonstration video. Please, all of you, look at this video. This is very important.
Hello everyone, this video will show you how to use Spooky 2 Central. As we all know, Spooky 2 Central has 4 modes: Plasma, Ultrasonic, PEMF, and Contact. Each mode can be run individually or together for improved results. For example, if you only want to run Plasma mode, you can just connect Spooky 2 Phanotron Tube or Spooky 2 Straight Tube to the central box and choose the suitable programs on Spooky 2 software. The same goes for the other 3 modes. You can also run all 4 modes simultaneously for the most effective treatment. Spooky 2 Plasma has 2 different plasma tube: Spooky 2 Phanotron Tube and Spooky 2 Straight Tube. Spooky 2 Phanotron Tube provides stronger and more focused signals, so it is recommended for localized treatment, while Spooky 2 Straight Tube is suitable for whole body treatment. Spooky 2 Central Contact mode is designed to open up your cells to better receive plasma treatment. You can use Spooky 2 contact accessories, TENS pads, hand cylinder, TENS contact kit. Note that it is unsafe to use Spooky 2 TENS internal electrode with Spooky 2 Central. Spooky 2 PEMF mode creates pulsed electromagnetic field, which extends 6 inches from the coil. Spooky 2 ultrasonic mode is an effective and powerful way to flood the entire body with frequencies. We are composed of 70% water, so sound waves in our body travel very well. Tips: Spooky 2 Plasma mode and ultrasonic mode only work when Spooky 2 Central is driven by the Spooky 2 generator, while Spooky 2 Contact mode and PEMF mode can also work well without a Spooky 2 generator connected. So let's start the hardware connection part. First, for Spooky 2 PEMF mode, plug the PEMF coil into the coil outlet port. We use Spooky 2 TENS pads as an example of Spooky 2 contact mode. Connect the TENS pad to TENS cable and the other side of TENS cable to audio cable. Then plug the audio cable into the contact outlet port of the Spooky 2 Central. In addition to Spooky 2 TENS internal electrode, you can also use other contact accessories like hand cylinders contact kit. There is one switch to control on-off of both PEMF and contact channels. Now connect the ultrasonic head to the ultrasonic cable, rotating nut tight them, and then plug the adapter into the ultrasonic outlet port. Next, we use Spooky 2 XM generator as an example to show how to connect the generator to Spooky 2 Central. Please have a check with the tags on BNC filter cables. It will help you better understand which cable or port to connect to. One end of the first BNC filter cable should be connected out one of XM generator and the other end to the input port of Spooky 2 Central. The side of magnetic circle should be near the generator. In the same way, one end of the second BNC filter cable will be connected to out 2 of XM generator and the other end to the modulation port of Spooky 2 Central. Push the cable connector in and turn it 90 degrees clockwise. Finally, use the USB filter to connect Spooky 2 generator to your computer. The side of magnetic circle should be near the generator. Spooky 2 XM generator is powered by a 5-volt power adapter. You can also use Spooky 2 Generator X to connect to Spooky 2 Central. The operation steps are the same as above. And Spooky 2 Generator X is powered by a 12-volt power adapter. Let's go to connect the plasma tube. I will take Spooky 2 Fanatron tube as an example. Plug the adapter of the Fanatron tube into the outlet. And we need to connect the power plug to an electric outlet, which should be different from the electric outlet of the generator and computer. The Spooky 2 straight tube is connected in the same way as the Spooky 2 Fanatron tube. Before choosing a program, we need to power on Spooky 2 Central. The switch light should work. Now turn on generator and start the software. Back to Spooky 2 software. On the Control tab, there is a pink square button with number X. That means the Spooky 2 XM generator was found. In this video, we will run a cold program as an example. Now we go back to the Preset tab and choose the suitable preset. Click Shell Empty Presets. Plasma. Choose Spooky Plasma Advanced, P, JW. Go to the Programs tab and enter cold as the keyword to search some programs. Then go to the Control tab, tick Overwrite Generator and click the Generator button. Finally, click the Start button. The red button becomes green, which means the program is running. One of the input and modulation LEDs should be blinking and the other one should be stable. And Fanatron tube should light and blink. Notes for using Spooky 2 Central. Number 1. Make sure the white high voltage wires, plasma tube and Spooky Central are as far from the generator and its power supply as possible. If either the high voltage cable of the tube or the tube itself is close to the power supply or power supply wires of the generator may easily lock up. Number 2. The cable from the 5-volt power adapter acts as an aerial, picking up the signals from Spooky Central. Please ensure the adapter is plugged into a different main socket outlet. Number 3. Use the special USB and BNC filter cables provided with your Spooky 2 Central.
Okay, so the thing is, connections are very clear by now. I hope you people are confident with the connections, right? So now, once you have the connections, you want to get started with the software, isn't it? So you should know which are the presets specifically made only for the plasma mode. How do you go about using these presets? So I will also show you on the software screen. So don't worry if you didn't understand about the software operation yet, I will show you right now. Okay. So you see, the first thing I always recommend is have the latest software updated. So you can download from the official Spooky 2 Mall website, or you can also go to the Cancer Clinic website, right? But I would suggest you stick with the Spooky 2 Mall website. You get the stable version of Spooky 2 software. Whatever you have on the Cancer Clinic website, those are the beta versions being tested, right? So you see, the first preset is for detox. So how do you get into that? In the software, go to the presets tab. Inside detox, you have the plasma presets, and you have so many of these detox presets. So either you can go selecting one by one as per your need. So these are the presets. You don't have to load anything for the detox preset. You don't have to load anything. Just double click this, go to the Control tab and start straight away. Okay. And for the other three, killing, healing, and for running the biofeedback results, you need to load the programs after selecting the appropriate preset. Okay. So if you want to do killing some program, right? I'm not talking about the biofeedback result. So if you want to do the killing for certain program from the database, then you will have to go to shell empty preset. And then inside that, you go to the plasma. And inside plasma, I have updated this with the latest software. Please understand, the Spooky 2 has also added a latest preset called the plasma killing. And then you have two presets now. Any one you can select. I will tell you at a later stage what is plasma killing, right? And then you can also select Spooky Plasma Advanced. So that is what we have been using till now, Spooky Plasma Advanced, right? And then for please remember, in the bracket you see P. P stands for plasma. There shouldn't be any confusion in this. You cannot select any contact mode or any remote mode preset to run a plasma preset or run any program on plasma. Okay, just make sure you are selecting in bracket P. That should be there. For running biofeedback result, again, because biofeedback results are killed, so you have to use any of the presets I mentioned in the killing one, that is plasma killing or Spooky Plasma Advanced. Now, there is the last preset category for plasma. This is called the frequency sweeps. So for that, go to the home screen of the presets, right? And then inside the frequency sweep section, select plasma. And there you see you have so many frequency sweep programs. You can take any of these depending on your need and start using it. You don't have to load any program with frequency sweep. Please remember that, right? There is just one small thing I should add here. There is a confusion with the ultrasonic mode. So I think I missed that slide somehow. Just 1 minute. Yeah. So for the ultrasonic mode, you have two options available. One is the slow option and one is the fast option. So please understand, the slow mode divides the plasma's output frequency by 256. That is called the octal harmonic. And fast divides the frequency by 16 Fibonacci harmonic. Okay. So I use 16. I use the fast mode, right? So both are equally powerful, but I don't like to divide the frequencies too much. So I use the fast mode. So I'm telling you what I use, right? Now, due to the physical limitations of the metal diaphragm used in the ultrasonic transducer, this method is applicable. This is not suitable for use with spectrum sweeps. So do not use ultrasonic mode for spectrum sweeps, right? Spectrum sweep is what? Sending so many frequency signals at the same time. So ultrasonic band is not meant for that. However, you can use the single sweep. Say if you want to go from 100 Hertz to some X, some Y value, in such case, one by one, if frequencies are given, then you can use the ultrasonic band easily, right? And it is safe for people with pacemakers and other electronic implants. So just 1 minute. Let me again share my screen. So yeah, so we go to the Q&A section. So there are few questions what I've come across. So I thought of sharing those. Why is the central most powerful killing machine? I again mentioned powerful killing machine. Why? Because of the 320 volt spike given by the contact mode, the plasma signal itself, right? It is the non-ionizing radiation which goes deeper, penetrates deeper already. You have the contact mode, which is giving you a powerful 320 volt zapping. You have the PEMF mode, which is also doing 29 volt magnetic zapping, right? You have the ultrasonic mode, which is going so fast, you know, it's overloading your frequency, your body with the frequencies. That is why the combination of all these modes makes central unit such a powerful unit. Okay. Can the Generator X Pro run Cancer presets on standalone? Yes, it can run standalone mode Cancer presets, but make sure the presets do not have anything related to frequency sweep. Wherever you need frequency sweep, spectrum sweep, you can't use Generator X Pro without computer. You need computer for that. Otherwise, you can use for Cancer in standalone mode. Okay, which one to buy, Phanatron tube or straight tube? So I've answered this already. Phanatron tube is meant for if you are aware of the location of the disease. If you know the problem is somewhere in this area, say I have a shoulder issue, go for Phanatron tube. If you want the general well-being, go for the straight tube. You know, it will handle the entire body. Is it safe to use this therapy overnight? Yes, it is completely safe. But make sure you are doing a lot of killing. You have a bottle of water next to your bed. That is very important. People skip this. See, if your body is dehydrated, the signal does not travel very well in the body. If it doesn't travel very well in the body, it is going to strain your body a lot and the therapy will not be effective. So make sure you have sufficient water with you, and it would be great if you can add some activated charcoal in the bottle, right? Say a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons in the bottle of water and you can drink it. It's safe. Okay. This is my favorite point. Is it true that we can attach our DNA sample to the plasma tube to get more efficient therapy? Yes, it is. Because it has been found that when you paste your DNA sample on the Phanatron tube, like with a cellophane tape, you also receive a tiny scalar signal onto the DNA. Okay, so DNA gets better treatment of plasma and scalar both. Which mode to select while using ultrasonic, slow or fast? So this also I have answered. I go for the fast mode because it divides the frequency by 16. So I don't like to divide frequency much. So I use fast mode. Why is it recommended to use the USB filter cables in the central unit? USB filter cables are used to send back the oscillations received from the central unit, right? It protects the Generator X from the oscillations generated by the central unit. So the protection is needed. Otherwise, your generator will get locked up easily. So you must use the filter cables if you want to avoid these issues. Is it normal to have the modulation LED blinking? Absolutely normal. Don't have to worry about this. The LED blinking is normal. What is recommended distance between the plasma tube and the body? See, the Phanatron tube gives you a localized treatment. So this gives you something like 6 inches or so. Okay, so that is the recommended distance between the plasma tube and the body. There is one more precaution I must add here. You know, 6 inches from the body means, you know, if you are in the winter season and then you are having blankets over you, people tend to keep plasma tube over the blanket sometimes. Okay, or the plasma tube is somehow touching the blankets. Make sure the plasma tube gets hot. So you have enough space for the air. You take care of that issue. That is very important. Okay. Then is it normal for the central unit to make buzzing or beeping sound? Absolutely normal. So don't worry about that. It is absolutely normal. Is it better to have more generators with the central unit? This I explained when I was talking about multiple generators to be used. Depends on the disease you are tackling or you are going to tackle. So if you need to use central unit for higher stage of cancer, any such chronic disease which needs lot of attention and it is emergency, you need more generators to handle body. Because if the disease has been infesting your body since a long time, then what will happen is your body is weak. It's not able to handle the treatments well. So you need to support the body. You have to give organ support. You have to give detox maintenance to the body at the same time, so that the system is able to get rid of the toxins easily. Otherwise, it might create inflammation. It might create more issues for short period of time. Remember, if you want to get well soon, there could be a period in which you would be very sick in between. Okay, when you are doing the therapy, it could be very short duration, and then after that you will recover easily, because body now has the energy to do its own healing, right? So you have activated the inner healing by killing pathogens or by killing the cancer cells, right? That is what we need to understand. Next question is, should I be using all the 4 modes in the central unit at the same time? This is a very important question, because when you learn with respect to all the 4 modes, right? So please understand, I leave it to the discretion of the patient. You have to understand that some people respond very well to just a single mode. So say some person has used only the plasma mode and he's getting fantastic results. So you wouldn't recommend that person to use 4 modes, because it would result in too much hugs for him, right? So it depends. If you are getting benefits with just a single mode, of course, the first priority would be to use the plasma. That is what you have bought the unit for, right? So you use the plasma, and if not plasma giving you good result, add contact mode, or add ultrasonic, or add PEMF after that. So it depends. Increase the modes one by one. Be smart. Okay, next question is, can Central be used to run biofeedback scan at all? No. As I mentioned earlier, Central is just an amplifier unit. It does not have the smart logic of generator X. It cannot generate frequencies. So if a device cannot generate frequencies, it can definitely be not used for biofeedback scan at all. It can only provide amplification of the signal given from the generator. Okay. Next is it suggested to keep the plasma tubes on before starting the therapy session? If yes, why? Yes, you have to turn on the plasma tubes for 5 to 10 minutes at least, so that if there is any infection, or I should say any pathogens on the tube still alive, it will kill those. Okay, so it is very important to cleanse the plasma tubes. So turn it on for some time before you start the session, so that everything is ready for the treatment. Next question is, can I remove the plasma tube cables before turning off the central unit? No, no way, don't do that. You have to turn off the central unit always, then unplug anything. Now, here is the next question, what is the difference between the plasma killing and Spooky Plasma Advanced preset? So this is something I could look into the note section. Plasma killing, that is the latest preset, it uses a wave cycle multiplier of 16, right? So it is sending more frequencies at the same time. Unlike the Spooky Plasma Advanced, which delivers the frequencies one by one to the body. So again, I leave it to your discretion. If you are not seeing satisfied results with Spooky Plasma Advanced, go for plasma killing preset. Okay, that might deliver multiple frequencies at the same time, right? So use plasma killing after Spooky Plasma Advanced, if you feel Spooky Plasma Advanced is not giving you desired results, then only, right? Okay, so these are the resources you can go to. So you can write down these websites for any support. If you have any hardware issues, please contact Spooky2 support team. They are very, very helpful. And I love the Spooky2 team because of their support. Please understand. That was the whole reason I got started with Spooky2. The support and the information available to you all is really great. And everyone is there to help you. Okay. So not in the chat box, question in the Q&A section, please. Now you can reach me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube channel, and my personal email ID. You can reach me here. If you have any questions or you need any one-on-one training on any of the modality offered by Spooky2. Okay. So I offer the basic training, medium level training, and advanced training. So if you need any one-on-one training, you can email me with the issue, what issue you are planning to handle with Spooky2, or if you need guidance with which machine to buy, you can contact me, right? So yeah, I'm writing my email ID here. This is my personal email ID. You can contact me for any one-on-one training or anything else, any other help I can do for you. So thank you so much for your patient listening. And let me quickly go to the Q&As. So just 1 minute. So many wonderful people here. Wow. Erickson, are you still there? I'll go to the. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Holly, I will unlock my FB page. Don't worry, Holly. You can connect. I'll do it today. I'll do it today. Thank you for informing that. Thank you everyone for your good wishes. I hope you all could understood something. Okay. Okay. I'm going to the Q&A section now. Erickson, yeah. Okay. Grounding. Grounding is a big issue, Erickson. You need proper grounding. And I don't know if there is any better suggestion with that. You need grounding for the machine. Grounding for ourselves is different, you know. We need grounding for the machine. You will have to get the grounding done. That is very important. Without grounding, it could be an issue. Yes, it's a big issue. You need grounding. No, central on the ground does not work, Erickson. No. Erickson, this USB filter cable for the laptop would be fine, but the two cables coming from the generator, the central unit, those need the USB filter cable. Those are the bare minimum, right? On day 6, someone has asked on day 6, this, okay. Remote mode detox. Yeah, I got headache. Can I continue doing it with ad program for headache? Yes, you can. Yeah, that's okay. You can. Perfectly fine. Erickson, I said limit to 2 questions. You have asked so many. Okay. So which tube is best for my dog's heart condition? Go for Fanatron tube, Erickson. Go for Fanatron tube. Can I use either tube? Ruth has asked, can I use either tube on someone that had chemo for lung cancer 2 weeks ago? Either tube for lung cancer. Go for Fanatron tube. Ruth, you can go for Fanatron tube. Beat has asked, morning. Okay, that's a good suggestion. Drink a lot of water and always take chlorella algae. Yeah. 10, 20 pieces until the headache goes away. Perfect. Thank you for this. Can you use PEMF on your eyes? David has asked, can you use PEMF on your eyes? Usually I use PEMF on my eyes when I'm using Generator X, just Generator X. Not very powerful like Central, to be honest, just to keep it safe on that area, David. So I use Generator X for PEMF for eye area, okay, to be safe. Ismail, I have a question about Central for thyroid issue. Can I use Fanatron tube? Yes, you can. You can put directly on the neck, Ismail, perfectly fine. You can use PEMF also, yes. See, a recommended duration is difficult, you know. We say per frequency 6 minutes is a good time. So again, it depends on the detox, right? So difficult to recommend any time. And just see, observe your body, how you are reacting to it, how your condition is, and then accordingly you can change your time, right? The therapy session. Just 1 minute. Yeah. Ismail, always remember my go-to protocol would be go for biofeedback scan. Get the exact programs needed to heal that issue, right? That is the way to start. Robert, why doesn't the spike thunderbolt and PEMF spike damage normal tissue? The reason is it's very small duration, you know, it's just microseconds. That is why maybe. That's a good question, Robert. So I don't have any scientific study to support that. So the only thing which makes sense to me is it's such a small duration, you know. Scott has asked, while performing a treatment with plasma tube, how far away we need to keep the phones? During the plasma session, I don't want my phones. Okay, say to answer this, if your plasma tube is over the abdomen area, right? So you can use phone away from it, right? 6 inches away from the plasma tube, that should be fine. But I would not recommend working on phone, you know, while you're on plasma session is not required. Okay. So try to keep it at least 6 inches away, even if you got to use the phone. Scott, I have answered about the distance in the presentation. Cheryl has asked with I'm currently, I just got my plasma unit, but doing terrain detox. When finished with detox, I will start plasma. Okay. Should I continue the toxic meds? And I cannot give you recommendation because I'm not authorized to do so, Cheryl. I cannot talk about the medications. Do not discontinue your medications at any cost. Right? So if you are doing the protocols, if you are doing the sessions, you know, I would suggest to go for one-on-one training, any trainer of your choice, but please go for proper protocols, proper way of doing the sessions. So that is why it would be difficult to answer how long, how you should do that, because I customize my sessions, you know, customize my client sessions as per their body responses. So that is how we do it. Okay. Alex's cancer is vulnerable between the how to input two frequencies in a way that the higher frequency is 11 times. Oh, Alex's Anthony Holland preset is already available on the software. You don't have to worry about that. So Anthony Holland preset is there. I think it is in the cancer category. So it is already there. You don't have to worry about it. You can just select it, select the programs and deliver it with the Plasma. Spooky Central will not operate with either the Plasma mode. Okay. Does it have a fuse that I can check? No, there is no fuse. Only thing you have to do is you can run the small frequencies, run some 100 Hz signal or small frequencies so that you can see the light blinking in the Plasma. That is the only way. David has asked, I have cataracts and floaters. Can I use PEMF near my eyes? How about Plasma? David, please understand, I think generator X would be sufficient for the eye area. Don't go for Plasma in this case, right? Okay, Plasma PEMF, I'm saying, be careful. So don't use PEMF with the central for this issue over your eyes. Go for the normal generator X based program on Plasma. Michael has asked, if treating a finger, does it matter that some of the surface will not be touching the skin? Okay. That's fine. No problem, Michael. Seems fine to me. Yes. Scott, to be clear in what more than Scott, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, you understood it correctly. Modes can be used in standalone. I think ultrasonic cannot be. You can use TENS pads and PEMF, but in that case, they would generate only a fixed signal, 100 Hertz. Don't try to run any program through generator. It will not. It will still give you 100 Hertz only. Okay, it's a fixed frequency. Okay, cancer website is mentioned. I'm writing in the chat box. Someone has asked about the cancer website, CAN cancer, cancerclinic.co.nz. This is the website I've written in the chat box for Cancer Clinic. What is sweep used for? Mohammed, sweep is meant to sweep out everything, irrespective of any program. If you are stuck, you don't know which program to use, you can as well use sweep. But remember, sweep also is killing good ones sometimes, so it is a larger range of difference. Beat which device is most effective for pathogens, cancer, Lyme disease? Oh, Plasma, central unit, beat. No doubt about it. Go ahead with Plasma, buy the Plasma unit. I use, Hedy has asked, I use remote mode a lot. What is Hertz power of that? Hertz is a frequency unit and power is the power unit. Okay, so this is very powerful. Remote works on the scalar principle, right? It works on the scalar principle. The maximum voltage you can deliver with remote is 20 volts. So, Gappan has asked, for how long do you switch on Spooky 2 to treat backache due to spinal stenosis? Healing, PK. There are too many things you have asked. Okay. So again, it depends. I cannot answer this question because this depends on the person. So go for the specific treatments, that is biofeedback scanning based, and then accordingly see how you are benefiting from the frequencies. Okay. Holly has asked, when I use the coiled cord from computer to generator X, my central unit gets error message, failed handshake. So I use the original cable. Oh, Holly. Okay, that's weird. So maybe there is some circuit, some cable has broken there, USB filter cable maybe. You will have to buy a new one or get the replacement from Spooky 2, Holly, and take it urgently. This is important. Robert, can we mount the tube with a plastic mount to keep it with airflow? Yeah. Absolutely, Robert. Thanks. Very good idea. Okay. Even Robert, people are having, wooden stands. Wooden is also good. So absolutely fine. As it would be very comfortable actually, and it is a very good way of giving plasma treatment. Thanks, Robert. So Karen has asked, so do you run a program when you use the ultrasonic band, or is it fixed frequency? So Karen, as I mentioned earlier, if you are doing any plasma session, so ultrasonic is going to use the same frequency, convert it to the ultrasonic range, whatever it is, and it will deliver that frequency to your body. So yes, you are using generator for that. Okay. You can run calcification with ultrasonic. Absolutely fine. Yeah. Robert, you can use central while other generators in remote mode. Perfect. You can. No problems. What happens to the central? Maria has asked, in case of power outage during a session that is due to not following the shutdown order. Oh, okay. Maria, it could be generator error or some things like that. Don't worry. You can again rescan the devices. If there is any problem, reinstall the software, right? No problems. AD, I don't have any reviews for the spike protein question, so I will not be able to answer that. Thank you. Monica, you can contact me for one-on-one training question. I will answer. Okay. Hector, what cancer settings you recommend if you do not allow the exact chest cancer? The doctor just said cancer, but cannot tell the exact. Hector, don't worry. If you want one-on-one training, we can go ahead with that. Otherwise, go ahead with the biofeedback scanning. That's okay if no one is able to tell the exact cancer or whatever. You will be able to help it for sure. Okay. Angela, double to central or other generators run program for peptides as per doctor. Okay. I will have to read up on that, Angela. I don't have information about it. You can send me some details on my email. I will have a look. Teresa, if I use contact mode only, will the light be lit on the front? And I heard no generator needed for contact. Yeah, you don't need any generator for contact mode, Teresa. Perfectly right. It will give a fixed frequency and fixed functionality. Basically, it is assisting plasma mode. Okay. So if you use it without plasma mode, then it is delivering 100 hertz anyways, right? John, I couldn't get your question. What is US gel? Joseph, my YouTube channel is, I've sent the link, but I'm typing in the chat box here. My YouTube channel link is I've written the YouTube channel link on the chat box. Angela, does this? Okay. Ismail, just try to change the USB hub or whatever you're using. Maybe that is creating a problem. Try to use a different USB port on the laptop. Okay. This could be due to some, port issue also. So try to use some different port on the laptop. Carlos, what machine is best for gut parasites? See, for this, you can go for the Generator X Pro kit. Okay. And if you want still more powerful killing the parasites, go for Plasma Central Unit. Go for single generator plasma kit. Okay. Anita, do some people just use a bunch of generators instead of using amplifier for cancer treatment? Anita, I doubt. No, because you need that much power for cancer work, right? So amplifier is needed. I would suggest to go for amplifier, right? But if you cannot afford it, then there is no option anyways. So, but my recommendation would be central. Vicky, the cancer is a large abdominal sarcoma. Okay. Vicky, so go for the central unit. You need that unit. Mohammed, you can touch the Phenotron tube to the body. There is no problem. You can easily touch. Nancy, have used terrain options dependent on the person. Works well. It was not clear in the session to run the terrain before doing central treatment. Yeah, okay. Nancy, I didn't go for any treatment. I'm just explaining about the central. Always, before starting the rifing, rule of thumb is finish your terrain work. Absolutely, yes. Thank you for reminding that. You have to start with terrain always. Nancy, the frequency can go through the walls. Yes, if you are using the straight tube, you have it will go farther. There is no problem. Yes. Cheryl, you can email me. We can discuss about the one-on-one training. Okay, so I'm again writing my email ID. Someone has asked. Angela, I'm not John, I'm Siddheshwar. Vicky, of course it is safe, but it is all about how much your body can handle. Okay, it is not exactly the safety. It is about how much your body can handle. I should answer in that way actually. Radhu, I don't have any pictures for the different placements, but as I said, keep the instrument closer to the problem area, Radhu. Okay, closer to the problem area. And multiple instrument means, I don't understand the question. If you're talking about scalar, yes, scalar and plasma can go parallel. There is no problem. Glenn, okay. Thank you, Floyd. Thank you so much for attending. Tom, for the eye, I can suggest Generator X based plasma, Generator X based PEMF. Don't start with plasma for eye. Okay. If you are doing through the biofeedback scan, then the answer would be different. But I would suggest go with PEMF plus Generator X combo. Graham, for a specific cancer, would the preset for that cancer be better than the BFB scan? Graham, no. The simple answer is no. BFB scan based program is always the first choice. Thank you, Sue, for attending. Thank you. Is it okay for me to use original cable from the Generator X Pro? Holly, please use coiled cables only. There is a reason these coils have been made. Okay. And that is the reason maybe many people get this locking up. Right? Holly, you are getting saved. Let me use these words. Maybe because your home grounding is very good. Okay. That is not the case with everyone. Okay. Make sure you use the coiled cables. Right? Yeah, Tom, I got your question, but try to use with only generator X, not the plasma unit, just for the safety sake, right? So you can use generator X, PEMF coil, remove the central from the picture. That is what I'm saying. For cataract, again, I say generator X is good enough. You can go for generator X Pro kit. Is that fine? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Karen. Thank you for liking. Holly, the coiled cables cause generator error. I understand. It makes sense sometimes. I think if you try using another port, I think it should be fine because there could be some power issue. It's not getting sufficient power after you use the coiled cables. I get this point. That makes sense. Okay. But if you are able to, if it is working fine for you, go ahead. But this is not the case with everyone. This might not work without the coiled cables, right? Thank you, Nathan, for answering that ultrasonic question. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Angela. Thank you. I will be waiting for your email. I'm just seeing if anything I've missed out on any question. Esther Tan, okay, maybe if you sent me an email, maybe it landed in spam. I'm sorry I missed it. You can email me again. Okay, I will make sure I see the spam folder this time. Please, you can email me again. Yeah, Holly, there is one for graphene oxide removal. There is a preset inside the COVID folder, I think. COVID preset. Just check inside. You have in the search bar in the preset tab, you can search for graphene oxide. That should do the job. Yeah, you can do that. Thank you, Anu. Thank you. You understood a lot. Okay. I think we have come to the end of the presentation. Thank you so much. Love you all for attending my webinar and sparing your time. It means a lot. Yeah. Internal electrode, we do not recommend with plasma modality. Okay. You can use it normally. There is no problem, but not with the plasma. Right. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for attending. I'll be closing the session now. Take care. See you in my next webinar.